this Premier League Week 21 picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play $5, get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with the code PLGB. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Monday, January the 5th. We are here to run the rule over a Premier League weekend, which ended on Sunday evening, before we get stuck right into another one, which starts on Tuesday night. It's already been a rock-solid start to the show. I bollocksed up the ad reads. Barry bollocksed up the introduction. So I'm 1-1 after 1 minute 50. Joining me from somewhere in Nottinghamshire is Mr. Barry Pedaluna. Barry, what I want to know first is, how are your tolerance levels, Barry? Are they above or below 5 centimetres?
I'd say below.
Below this, okay.
I'm not tolerating that shit yesterday, that's for sure.
I didn't know anything about tolerance levels until yesterday.
Eh?
I didn't know anything about tolerance levels, did you? If you go back 5 centimetres to the line,
it's the first.
Why don't you just do that?
They've only invoked the tolerance rule yesterday, it seems.
Tolerance levels, we'll add that
anyway.
We can add that to side shielding.
So
anyway, Baz, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. You just said to me when I come on, I've not got a cold anymore. I feel fresh for the first time in about 3 weeks. I feel fresh.
Yes, Barry's fighting back for 2026. Very good. Yeah, it was a fun weekend in that the things that happened last week that made us enjoy it happened kind of again this week. Mainly Newcastle winning, and then lots of the evil teams, enough of the evil teams didn't win or conceded late equalised. So that's always a good start to a Premier League weekend.
No, Malcolm, in the last 2 games of Premier League football, the 2 rounds of Premier League football, only 2 teams won twice.
Oh, Barry, I've got a whole thing about draws. I've been doing a lot of research today, Barry.
Yeah, good. We've obviously been looking at the same things.
Yeah, it stuck out like a sore thumb, didn't it?
Yeah.
And probably I can't imagine we're the only people who've noticed it, but I did some adding up on that, Baz. So we'll get to that in a little bit, because I've got like 2 pages of notes here before we even make some picks. So this could be an epic one tonight. So yeah, the picks were okay. We'll come on to didn't win much, didn't lose much, but there was enough winners in there. A little bit of bad luck. I was on my travels, Baz. I went all the way to Butlins in Minehead on Friday. I came all the way back from Butlins in Minehead on Saturday, and then did that job on Saturday night. It was the old Butlins staff party, Baz. 800 people. It was fucking chaos. Jesus, there was so many cliches as I was packing the van up at midnight. There were so many bad decisions being made by people, and people being sick, and women carrying their shoes, and there was going to be a lot of fingering went on that night. In the Minehead, in the greater Minehead and North Devon area, there was people getting fingered all over the place. And then Saturday night was the 18th birthday, Barry, but it was the very posh kids, and they're my favourites. I used to do Durham University a lot, but I haven't been there for ages. And Durham University is so this was my first set of very posh kids, and they're just like big daft Labradors. They've got no grip on reality whatsoever, but they're all incredibly polite and just clueless, like we're called Darcy and stuff like that. So it was just fun. I enjoyed that a lot. But we've got lots to get to, Baz. I mean, I think the place to start, I'll tell you where we'll start. We'll start by saying hello to everyone who's joined us, and then we can crack on, because there's news and notes before we make any picks. Callum Schultz, squad number 9, was in. Conor Mack is second. Asking about Thiago winning the Golden Boot. I think he's 5 behind, isn't he? Conor is sitting with 80-1 each way. So it's a great fun position to be in. I think it relies on an injury, but why not? You know what I mean?
The each way looks nailed on, doesn't it?
Yeah, the each way does look nailed on. 5 places. So the Backers family are here looking for some Man United chat, I reckon. AJT 97, Rare Live. I don't know if that's a name we recognise because YouTube keep just changing everyone's names. For some reason, Shane's here from New Zealand, Fefref is in, and Joe Dollar is here. It's tempting to need Lust, but I'm not buying that tonight. Anyway, Baz, you can lead us off with Ruben Amorim. He was given the 9-10 jack this morning, judging by your silly little face. You find the whole thing quite amusing.
I'd rather he stayed there.
And it just didn't inspire any strong feelings of me one way or the other. And I kind of feel a bit like this tonight. I haven't really got anything sensible or insightful to say about it, funnily enough, Baz.
Yeah, it's one of those where I think, as far as we're concerned, he was doing all right, so I would have been quite happy for him to crack on. But as you said to me this afternoon, they'll only go and fuck it up with whoever they appoint next.
That's the good thing, yeah.
Latest betting? Do you want me to throw them out there for you?
Yeah, go on, mate, yeah.
Have a quick look at what we've got. Odds checker are showing Oliver Glasner as the favourite. Various price. You got to shop around. He's even money at Bet365, but you can get 7-2 elsewhere.
Oh, wow.
Darren Fletcher is, he's the interim manager, but he's also a short price at the moment. He's about similar price, 3-1. Maresca's in there at 6s or 7s. If Maresca didn't want to put up with the interference at Chelsea, I don't see why he'd go to Man United from there. Gareth Southgate's in at 8-1. Remember, I backing him last time around, didn't I? I went for Southgate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems a little bit wide open. There's no obvious favourite at the moment. Glasner was the first one that came to mind for me. But still seems a bit open. It would surprise me if they let Fletcher keep it till the end of the season and make a move at the end of the year. Yeah,
Fletcher is interimming. He might be for a few more months. Never gets boring, that joke, does it? But AJT's a Toon fan saying he hopes to go for Southgate. Is that in case they go for Howe? There's no way Howe's going to leave. I
think it's more the fact it would be funny. I think everyone would find it quite amusing if Southgate was the answer.
Yeah. I'm not sure why now they've sacked Amorim, other than his sort of outburst the other day, but it's not the first time he's sort of talked in riddles. At no point did he look like he knew what he was doing. And I've said that regularly, pre-game, in-game. I don't know what training looked like for them to turn up.
Man, isn't he? And I think he was he trying to force it with his comments last week? I don't know. As you say, it wasn't the first time.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a little bit bizarre in terms of the fact it was almost identical to what happened to Maresca, where he just, he made those comments in a press conference, and within a week, it's the type of owners who won't tolerate any of that. But
he definitely hasn't been helped by that clown show behind him, old fucking Sir Jim. With the long pockets and short arms. But the thing with Amorim, I quite liked him. Liked a strong word, because I don't like any of them fuckers. I didn't dislike him. He just never annoyed me, like Arteta and Klopp. And then, like Eddie Howe, for example. No one really dislikes Eddie Howe because he's quite boring. He's really vanilla, isn't he? He never jumps up and down and makes an arse of himself.
It's just for the fact he will never moan about anything. Even when we had massive injustices, he just cracked on with it.
I quite liked Amorim. I'd never disliked him at all. The new manager, I've just got no faith, like you say, that they'll make the right decision. So hopefully they'll just keep on being hilariously bad. That would be the thing to do there. Connor saying Maresca makes sense because the Man City connections through Jason Wilcox.
Maresca is Pep Guardiola might not have long left. I think Maresca ends up at City eventually.
Well, yeah, that's like the map in it. If you follow how it's meant to be mapped. Pep could go to Man United after that, so it doesn't have to move out. Get access to all of our free picks and podcasts in one convenient place, the SGPN app. Download it for free in your app store. Just type in SGPN. Picks, I won 4, so I lost 6. So I was a little bit behind. But my lock hit, which was Aston Villa, I thought I was a bit unlucky with Leeds at a price. The 2 letdowns for me were Everton and West Ham. Both got humped completely. Baz, I've got no idea if you had any winners or losers or what.
I had 5 winners.
There you go.
It was an absolute gift. I took the break. I started really well, actually, 3 from 3 in the early part of Saturday. Villa win, Brighton handicap. I took the Wolves over 2.5. I didn't expect Wolves to get all 3 of them. Newcastle and over 1.5 goals was a winner for me. And I took the unders in the Spurs game. So, yeah, 5 out of 10. But I did hit my lock and my scorer, the lock being Villa, scorer being Ollie Watkins.
Tell you who did win, Barry. Data Dave.
Data bloody Dave, aye.
I tell you what, he was waiting for me to ask him about that. I could just tell. He nearly burst out the laptop this morning when I opened it up. I was like, is Data Dave there? He was sitting waiting. He must have been waiting since that final whistle went. He was buzzing. He wanted to tell me all about it. He was like volunteering information. Now, I'm not sure that AI's really supposed to volunteer information. He was like engaging me in conversation. So his explanation was, Barry, they had a plus XG expectation against every non-top 6 team. So the regression was inevitable. He just couldn't wait to tell me that this morning. I was all right, okay. I'll see you, Dave. AFCON update, Baz. We're down to 2 teams. Tomorrow's a big day. I said we had no luck with the draw whatsoever. South Africa got touched off by Cameroon 2-1 yesterday. A little bit unlucky, really. They got back in the game, but they found themselves behind. So tomorrow, Burkina Faso and Congo go tomorrow. We've had some really good interaction from Africa on the YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts, apart from tonight, because we bet it, Barry, as we discussed. The winners have been really good. We had the Sudan goalkeeper saves, which cashed by half-time on Saturday. That both teams are scoring over 2.5, and South Africa hit it 2-1. So, good picks over there. Like I say, Congo. I'm doing Congo Senegal commentary at 4:00 tomorrow. So, looking forward to that. And then Burkina Faso. We'll do eye catchers as we go when we do the picks. But just getting back to you talked about winners and losers and draws, Baz, because I did some number crunching of my very own today without using Data Dave or anyone. And someone had pointed out the amount of draws that there'd been and just about how tight the league is. So the last 2 game weeks, Matchday 19 and 20, the 20 games, obviously. Matchday 19 had 7 draws. There was only Newcastle, Arsenal, and I can't remember who else. It was one on those game weeks. And Matchday 20 had 4 draws. So there's 11 over the 2 weeks. If you bet all the draws on Matchday 19, Baz, take 10 units, 29.3 units returned. Fucking hell, you'd have been rich. And then 4 draws just this week. But 10 units would have returned 14.4. Now, I went through this slate today making the picks. I could easily have put 6 draws up out of these 10 games. There's a lot of tight games here, Baz. So I then did start talking to Dave about it. And the reason, Barry, for all of this is there's more mid-table parity, which makes sense. We've talked about this, isn't it? I was talking to Bob about this last night. Newcastle would have Peter Beardsley and Chris Waddle and Paul Gascoigne, and they would play well for a season, and then Gascoigne went to Tottenham, Waddle went to Tottenham, Beardsley went to Liverpool. But that's now evened out by Bournemouth and Brentford and Brighton and all these teams buying cheap players from Ecuador and Iran and Greece and Cyprus and Norway and anywhere you like. And that's completely leveled the playing field. Like, where still you don't see that as much from the big teams. They're like, okay, someone has a good 18 months, like Semenyo, and then we'll spend 75 million quid on them. So there's much more mid-table parity there. There is lower finishing efficiency, Barry, amongst those teams. And, Baz, this is good. There's a spike in 1-1 and 0-0s in congested periods. So this midweek slate fits right into that, talking about congested periods. So there's a spike in draws. So if we'll add up the 10 draws, on Thursday night and see what that returns. So, are you having any of that, Baz?
I'm having all of that. Yeah, it has been a funny old week though. As I say, when I looked at the form table and saw only Newcastle and Arsenal won back to back in the last 2 games, and then you look at Man City draw, Liverpool draw, Chelsea, Man United, Sunderland, Fulham, Spurs, and Leeds United, all draw, back to back draws as well. So there's a pattern in terms of the teams who are hitting them as well. But yeah, funny old time. There's a lot of teams who have struggled over this Christmas period, and that's what I was saying last week about how Newcastle fans were still getting the knickers in a twist despite the fact we were winning games, and it was still the same after the Palace game. People saying, "Oh, we made hard work of that." Like, it's not easy to win back-to-back games at the moment in the Premier League. Not many teams are doing it, and as I say, we saw it again this week with a lot of big teams not able to see out a game.
Yeah, the draws this season running at about 30%, which isn't much higher than normal. It's normally 28, 29. So slightly more, but I certainly think lately, and that the fixture congestion thing does make a lot of sense. Like, obviously, after the event, it's easy. We're looking back and saying why it's happened. But yeah, this week will certainly be interesting to see if another 4 hit and you'd have ended up on 13 or 14 units again. It'd be something to keep an eye on, definitely. Baz, Kalshi, we have partnered up with, which is a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. You can trade tons of markets, including NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL. You can trade props like first touchdowns. There's some Raj markets as well, politics, entertainment, even the weather. The weather's awful here. It snowed, and I don't like it. Here's something I am trading on Kalshi. I've read out that bit. I wasn't meant to read out again. Brackets, insert something you like. You can do that yourselves. New Kalshi customers get $20 when they use promo code SGPN. That's KALSHI, promo code SGPN. And Underdog is your home for pick'em entries. You can win up to 5,000 times your money. Underdog has got you covered this holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped. Underdog has a brand new offer. Play $5, get $75 in bonus funds. Sign up with the code PLGP. Barry, is there anything you want to tell the people about, or would you like to make some picks on this midweek slate?
Let's make some picks. Let's get into it.
Make some picks. It's a fucking lopsided again, which I was quite looking forward to the big 8-game card on Wednesday, but I'm going to the Newcastle one. And it's a 8:15 kick-off again. Baz, that really annoys me. Like, but anyway.
From someone who's sitting watching it at home,
yeah.
I do like, the other day we were 7:30, and then at half-time I could switch over and watch the first 15 minutes of a game. And then at full-time I can switch over and watch the last half hour of a game. So it all...
Well, right. Fulham-Liverpool was delayed yesterday because there was a medical emergency. So that performed the same function. And at half-time in that game, you could watch another... You didn't have to get up or make any conversation. You could just immediately roll it into more football. So there you go. One game Tuesday, 8 p.m, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. West Ham United taking on Nottingham Forest. West Ham are 11-5 plus 220. The draw 12-5 plus 240. Forest 5-4 plus 125. This was an ugly as sin place to start. This was one of the potential draws straight off the bat. 18th versus 17th. I can't take a team that just lost 3-0 v Wolves. That doesn't seem a very good idea, does it, Baz? And with no win in 9. Home form for West Ham, 1-2. Drawn 1, lost 7. But Forest were absolutely terrible at Villa. That was a pathetic attempt at a performance. I'm not having Sean Dyche on. He really winds me up. Do you know, like, he portrays himself as quite a sort of clever person. Everything he says is to put himself in a position to not be responsible for anything. Like, if they win, it's not me. I did say 3 weeks ago it was nothing to do with me. That's it. After the game, the weekend, when they got stuffed. Oh, well, I said it was nothing to do with me. We've had the same points as Sunderland over the last 6 games. Everyone thinks they're brilliant. He just excuses, like, he puts himself in a position to blame anyone else but himself. They were so passive against Villa at the weekend. They just didn't join in. It was great for us. Villa were a best price. One of the best bets of the season, Villa. Forest made no attempt at joining in that game at all. They've now lost 4 in a row. And this is kind of instinct, because there's data to back this up is really neutral. Both teams are 4-4 to the over and under 2.5 in the last 8. So it's right down the middle. But I just think both managers are going to set up really cagey here. This is going to be 2 frightened teams, both scared of losing. Shane's got it spot on. He's got both teams to score no, which is very, very similar to my under 2.5 pass at 9-10, -111.
Yeah, I've got the word cagey in my handicap here as well. So we're right on the same lines. And Forest are just short of goals as well, aren't they? I was out drinking on Saturday night with 3 Forest fans, and they're fed up with it. But and they were talking about, like, the amount of crosses they're putting into the box, despite the fact they just don't have anybody that can get on the end of a cross. If Chris Wood was there, they'd probably get a few goals from it. But the fact that he's missing and likely to be out for quite a while, it's hard to fancy anyone here. It does look a big game at the battle at the bottom of the league. 2 teams bang out of form, with managers coming under a little bit of pressure, despite the fact they've been there just 3 months. Forest had a shocker over Christmas, 4 defeats in a row, scored only 2 goals. And I say West Ham haven't been much better. 1 point from their last 5 games now, and failed to score in 3 of their last 4 as well. The points did come from a home game, did come against Brighton, but with no win in 8 now for West Ham. You said 9, so I might have miscounted there. And a 3-0 humping at Wolves last time out. It's impossible to get involved with West Ham. And impossible to take either side with any confidence. I was a little bit surprised to see Forest such clear favourites, because they haven't shown much more than West Ham have. But like you, I just thought it would be a cagey affair. Neither team wanting to lose this, and therefore low scoring was the obvious way to play it. Under 2.5 goals, 10-11.
Okay, oh shit. One out of 1, Fef, count them. AJT 97 might just have picked out the arse sniffer of the week here, because his handicap his pick fits right into both of our analysis here, which is 0-0 at half time at 2-1. Both teams playing terrified, as we said. The abstract Homo sapiens here, let down by Egypt tonight. Egypt did the usual Liverpool, Real Madrid thing. Mo Salah did nothing, was dog shit, and scored a breakaway goal, and then runs off like he's single-handedly won them the match in the 124th minute or something. Absolutely unbearable. And in that game, I tell you who else I spotted who was dog shit. Marmouche. What has he been playing this season for them? Like Man City?
No, not a lot. No.
Nah. I tell you what, he was pony tonight, by the way. The last thing I remember him doing was he thunder-twatted one in, didn't he, at the back end of last season? And everyone was wetting their knickers. He was pony tonight, so there's something to keep an eye on. Noah Nixon. Noah's here. Welcome along, mate. How are you? Double chance in that one. So there you go. Sorted. Next up. So Wednesday night, 8 games. Get your coupons out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 30 games, none of which are Newcastle. The first one on the card is Bournemouth taking on Tottenham Hotspur. Bournemouth 21-20, plus 105. The draw is 13-5, plus 260. Tottenham 12-5, plus 240. Barry.
Yeah, 11 without a win now for Bournemouth. But it wouldn't surprise you massively if this was a game where they ended up breaking that against Spurs. They didn't disgrace themselves in defeat to Arsenal, 3-2, pushed them to the wire. And a 2-2 draw against Chelsea before that wasn't a bad result for Bournemouth. They have scored 10 goals in the last 5 league games, and both teams to score has hit in all of the last 5. Only one of them games went under 2.5, but both teams to score hitting in all of them. So there's goals all over the place in Bournemouth games. That said, the Spurs form flies in the face of that recently. Their last 3 all came in under 2.5. I was tempted with the goals initially just from looking at the Bournemouth form. But in the end, I ended up looking elsewhere. The prices took me elsewhere, really, because it's 2 poor sides in poor form, both struggling to win games. And I just didn't think there was a lot between the two of them. Therefore, Spurs being as big as 12-5 against a side with no win in 11, the price just seemed a little bit too big. I don't want to back Spurs to win. But even a toothless Spurs side can find goals against this Bournemouth defence. Everyone's putting up goals against them. Bournemouth aren't winning games. Neither are Spurs. But they don't have to. Yeah, I'll take Spurs double chance, a short one at 8-11. But 8-11 to get something from a team who haven't won in 11, I think it's all right. Spurs were a big price for me. Spurs double chance, 8-11.
Yeah, it was another unappealing one where if it finishes in a draw, you just shrug your shoulders and move on. It's 15th v 13th. When was the last time Bournemouth won, Barry? What date?
Well, it was 11 games ago in the Premier League.
It was October the 26th. Can you imagine?
That's a long time.
Like nearly is an entire year.
We're going to qualify for the Champions League at that point.
They were, yeah. 5 draws and 6 defeats, including home games against Burnley, West Ham, Everton. So they're all teams. So I don't know why you can't bet them at this price. There's a few people. I could bet them at a bigger price, I think, is my point. I would not be surprised if they would. I don't know why these prices are mad. Surely this should just be like 13 to 8 each or 2. There's no difference. If the 2 teams swapped shirts at the start, you wouldn't know who the fuck was who. They're both shite. So Tottenham have got an ugly 1-0 at Palace in their game log on the 28th of December. But back-to-back draws, Sunderland and Brentford. They have got 5 away wins, and 4 of them were against the teams all around Bournemouth in the league. The 2 above them and the 2 below them. Everton, Palace, Leeds, West Ham. So that's a rock-solid form line, like a proper old-school form line. 3 unders in a row offsets Bournemouth's goal trend. You pointed that out. So I dipped into the stats bars, didn't I? Cheated. Bournemouth have got some interesting attacking stats. The XG is 5th in the league. 5th for shots. And the 3rd for shots on target. And you kind of saw that against Arsenal at the weekend. Like, I was getting ready to go to work. I was backwards and forwards, putting my shirt and everything on. But every time I looked at the telly, like, someone was having a pop for Bournemouth. So, team total is short. Joe's pointed out the team total. Over 1.5 goals is short at 5-6. 5.5 shots on target for Bournemouth is even money. And the way they play, Tavernier likes a ping. David Brooks is another. I'd looked about putting a little bet builder together, but that's kind of not what we do for these main picks. Semenyo had 4 the other day. Was it the Man City game, maybe? Semenyo had 4. Brooks gets a load off. Tavernier gets a load off. So the shots in them, yeah. Over 5.5 Bournemouth shots is even money. Next 7:30 kickoff is Brentford taking on Sunderland. Brentford are 4-5 minus 125. The draw 13-5 plus 260. Sunderland 7-2 plus 350. Ends in a draw. Anyone surprised? We're in again, Baz. 3 out of 3 so far. 7th for 8th. Like, everyone's playing each other who's then table neighbours. Brentford are flying. Brentford in 7th. I mean, Dofia Captain Keith Andrews, like, everyone was ripping the piss out of him pre-season. So stick that up your bracket. Like, 11 points from 5 games. They've scored 4 in 2 of the last 3 games. But 4-5 is short, considering they've drawn 2 of their last 3 home games. Tottenham and Leeds, fairly comparable, you might say. And Sunderland, the cockroaches, just won't lose. They just refuse to get beat. They've lost 1 game in 8, which was the Man City game away. They have drawn 5 of those. 5 unders in a row. And only 2 of their last 9 have gone over 2.5. The 1-1 draw of the week is live at 11-2. I think the draw is live at 13-5. Could be a 0-0 at plus 260. But my official play is under 2.5, 4-5, minus 125.
Yeah, two teams coming into it unbeaten over the Christmas break. Sunderland with 4 straight draws. They've actually only won 2 of their last 11 league games now, Sunderland, but only lost 2 as well. So they are full of draws all over the place. Brentford have done better, 3 wins and 1 draw in their last 4, and 10 goals scored in those last 4 games. It did make it a tricky one, as you got Brentford, who are winning games, scoring goals, up against Sunderland, who aren't losing and aren't conceding many. Sunderland have just conceded only 2 in the last 5 games now, and that's the form I followed. The unders is hit in 5 in a row for Sunderland. Brentford might be good enough to win this in their current form, but if they do, a 1-0 could definitely be on the cards. I'll take the under 2.5 goals, 4-5.
Sorry, I was typing, and I can't type and ray gun people at the same time. I haven't tried my ray gun in the snow. I don't know if it would function. It might be a bit more dangerous, Barry, out there. Under 2.5 goals for AGT, so that's a triple play on that one. Fefwif's asking us to admit how well Sunderland have played. I think we've been quite magnanimous about Sunderland, really. We've said several half nice things, and we haven't slagged them off. Like,
yeah, I took the under 2.5 against Spurs because I said Sunderland were resilient, are hard to beat. Spurs, the hard team to break down. I picked the winner.
Yeah.
If you want us to start tossing off Enzo Lefebvre or anything like that, then that's not going to happen.
Don't toss off Enzo Lefebvre, Barry, would be my advice to you. 7:30, that threw me a bit. Crystal Palace take on Aston Villa. Crystal Palace 21-10 plus 210. The draw 23-10 plus 230. Aston Villa 13-10 plus 130, Barry.
So is that me, is it?
No, it's you, mate. Well, yeah.
Too busy further up my notes. Quite a short one for me, this one, because it's really straightforward for me once again. Palace with no win in 5, 4 defeats from 5, conceded 11 goals. And up against the Villa team in great form. They've just got that Arsenal defeat in their last 10 league games now. 9 wins from 10. They bounced straight back from that one with a comfortable win over Forest at the weekend. And here they are against an out-of-form Palace side. Again, 13-10. Just looks a huge price. While Villa are winning week in, week out, I don't think you need to overthink it. You've got to take Villa to beat Palace at that price. Villa to win, 13-10.
Yeah, Joe Dollar agrees. Villa money line. My handicap here is 14 or 15 words, maybe. Happy to keep riding Villa. It's a team I'm in on versus a team I'm out on. That was it. That's as far as I got. Villa 13-10 plus 130. I had a little bit of a chat with Dave Horan Stufflecoat. Issue 42, £1.60. I haven't spoken to Dave Horan Stufflecoat on the show for a little while. Villa was one of his players as well. He was we started talking about Everton because he's an Everton fan, so we're coming to them next. But yeah, Dave had a few thoughts, and Villa were a strong lean for him as well. Abstract Homo Sapien wants Villa, Shane wants Villa. It's a team, right, Barry? Everyone's, oh, hang on a minute. Did I fucking rain on that? Shit, now, is this free? The IT department is going to storm downstairs in a wild rage in a minute because I keep waking her up with the old ray gun. It's that 3 out of 4. Could be on for a PB yet. We'll get on to the toffees after I've told you about Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market. You get the best prices. Download the Novig app, get $50. You spend $5, use the promo code SGPN. Get on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. And Rhythm, who has crushed the NFL this season, especially on props, been really good at identifying when to fade players and taking the unders. College basketball is up and running. Get on there. Either build your own model or use the house models to get your picks in. Promo code is SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm, use promo code SGPN25. We will go to 7:30, Everton take on Wolverhampton Wanderers. Everton are 3-4, minus 133, 5-2 the draw. plus 250. Wolves are 4-1. I can't win with Everton. They won at Forest when I'd made a really good case for why they would lose at Forest. The players that were going to miss and everything. They went and fucking won 2-0, did they? So then I backed them with every right to, which home to Brentford, and they got absolutely mangled. They completely shit the bed at the weekend. I saw some funny videos of their fans just all going home. I think the luster of the hill dick has ran its course now. No one can be asked for that anymore. They couldn't beat Burnley last week, if you remember that. So they're really hard to analyse, but I don't fancy betting them at this price at all. Against Wolves, who were off the mark, I don't mind them at 4-1 as a underdog. Dave Moran's Duffel Wolves +1 was his pick. He's an Everton fan, and he just didn't want anything to do with Everton at this price, so he went for Wolves +1. 4-1 underdogs with the pressure off and signs of life. But what you've got to remember is that they played well at Liverpool and Arsenal before, and if you want to put Man United in, you can do as well. Before that 4-point haul in the last 2 games. But in all of those good games, have been good for a goal. So even in defeat, they've been scoring. Everton got humped at the weekend, but still managed twice. Both teams to score. It's a perfectly reasonable price here. 19-20, -105. Barry's eyes just went like dinner plates. I think we might have equalled the Ray gun with a load of games still to go. This could be a Hall of Famer, Baz. What you got?
Fefwef's getting a semi on at this point. He likes the count.
Oh, lovely. What's wrong with you tonight, Barry? We've had you tossing off Enzo Lafay, and now we've got listeners semi-erect penises. Are you all right, Barry?
I'm okay. Are
you all right? Feeling a bit better? Your cold's gone, so you can focus on cocks.
Yep. Love all that.
Very good.
I thought this was a tricky one given the results at the weekend, wasn't it? Wolves with a 3-0 win, Everton getting humped 4-2. And I think, like you, I just can't get Everton right. The 4-2 is a bit of an outlier for Everton because normally defensively they're a bit better than that. They'd conceded only once in their 3 games prior to that. So I don't know how much weight to give that result. But that said, I think Wolves have picked up points in back-to-back games, as you mentioned, and I've looked at the same as what you said. Even before that, they were a bit more competitive. They lost 2-1 to Liverpool, 2-1 to Arsenal. So I wanted to factor Wolves in. I couldn't have Everton at odds on at the moment against anyone, and not with Wolves showing some slight signs of a recovery. Everton might win. They probably should be winning at home to bottom of the table. But like you, I fancy Wolves to get a goal. They've scored in 5 of the last 6. And they always concede. The clean sheet against West Ham was their first of the season. So same pick. Both teams to score, 19-20.
I was a bit slow on the ray gun there. There was a DRS review in the cricket, Barry. Not out is the answer. Huang, 2 fouls at 10-11. Has made 11 in his last 5 games. So there's the player prop from Fefwef. Cheers for that. Turn the page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games left to get one more fucking ray gun in for the record. This is quite remarkable stuff here. 7:30 on Wednesday. Fulham take on Chelsea. Fulham 23-10 plus 230. The draw 13-5 plus 260. Chelsea 15-13 115. Just laughing at Fefwef's comment. It's a family show. Barry, this is you.
Yeah, I was also distracted by that. I think we'll be on different picks here. But anyway, Chelsea, no win in 4 league games now. Both teams to score has hit in all 4 of those games. They have had 3 draws and a defeat to Villa in those last 4. Fulham, meanwhile, unbeaten in their last 5 league games, 3 wins, 2 draws. But as I said last week, the fixture run over Christmas has been very kind to them. The wins have come against Burnley, West Ham and Forest. They haven't got any real scalps so far this season in terms of beating any of the top sides. They win the games they should be winning, but they've lost games to Arsenal, City, Villa, Chelsea, Newcastle. Any of the bigger teams come along and they're getting beat. And so I'm going to take them on here. I'm going to go for a Chelsea team total. They've scored 2 in 3 of the last 5. They've only failed to register a goal once since the first day of the season. So they'll always get you at least one, Chelsea. So then can they go and get the second? And Fulham have conceded 2 or more in 5 of their last 8 in all competitions. So I wanted to factor Chelsea in here. Fulham just don't have a good record against the teams up the top end of the table. Chelsea over 1.5 team total at 10 to 11.
Fulham were good again yesterday. I thoroughly enjoyed him scoring that goal, Harris Reed. I don't know if you've seen, there's a very wholesome video doing the rounds on social media. There's the 3 Fulham players who play for Nigeria who were out at AFCON. Calvin Bassey, Alex Iwobi, and is it Chukwueze, I think? And it's one of them telling the other 2 what's happened. And they're both going, Reedy, and they're laughing their heads off because they can't believe that Harris. And he's going, yeah, he's trying to explain how he's thunder launched it into the upper 90. So I quite enjoyed that. I enjoyed that baldy Irish fella celebrating while that was flying in as well. So yeah, I enjoyed Fulham again. 5 unbeaten. They've won 5 out of 10 at home. I wouldn't put you off them at all at an underdog price because Chelsea are way too short. At this price, on a run of 1 winning 8, like 15-13, just doesn't appeal. It was a very weird performance at City yesterday because for 3 quarters of it, I was just waiting for City to get a second and third. And then all of a sudden, and I think like Gary Neville mentioned it on comedy, you could feel the equaliser coming. The fans, the atmosphere, you just knew it was kind of going to happen. So I couldn't quite work out, I think, what happened yesterday. They could have been miles behind. They could have been out the game, and then they weren't. And then they equalised. But both teams were wide open going forwards and backwards yesterday. In both directions, it was just chance after chance after chance in both games. So both teams are scoring over 2.5. 2-1 to Chelsea, Basel, cash on both. But I don't mind Fulham, like I say, there's worse 9-4 shots out there. Big TTS and over 2.5, 21 to 20, plus 105. AJT's gone for the draw. Chelsea cards for Joe, actually, over 4.5 cards. And Harry Wilson again, man. Harry Wilson took him as a scorer a few weeks ago. Should have just kept riding him. 2 shots on target is 3-1 for Fefwef. There, the final 7:30 on Wednesday is Manchester City against Brighton. Man City are 2-5, minus 250. Actually drifted a little bit, Manchester City. Probably injury news, I think. They lost quite a few defenders. They were minus 277. You now get them at 250. 17-4 the draw, plus 425. Yeah, Brighton have contracted an entire point. They were 13-2, plus 650. And now 11-2, plus 550. Back-to-back draws for Man City. Disappointing. And they've only scored 1 goal doing it. I just said they had a million chances against Chelsea. And then they couldn't score against Sunderland. That's disappointing. And that could be a costly return into winnable games. They did look full of goals against Chelsea, just didn't quite pan out because they were on a run of scoring tons of home goals before that. Brighton had a regulation win against Burnley. Their away form's bang average, so the only points taken away against the top 12 teams was when they beat 10-man Chelsea. Other than that, they just lose against any decent side away from home. They conceded twice at Arsenal, Liverpool, 4 Man United, 2 at Everton, 2 at Bournemouth. Man City started quick against Chelsea, got on the board, should have had more. 5-6 for them to score in both halves. You can take that. That does kind of eliminate any defensive issues that they've got as well. So if Brighton do get a goal, that'll just force it. Man City to score in both halves is 5-6, minus 120, Baz.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind City goals, yeah. I didn't particularly like this one, just having seen City struggle to put away Sunderland and then an out-of-form Chelsea side in the last 2. And as you say, that the lack of goals, but not for them not making chances, though, as you say. And I think Brighton being in bad form themselves, a 2-0 win over Burnley doesn't change much. Before that was no win in 6. And away from home, Brighton have only won 2 of 10 this season. I just don't think you can back Brighton on the road. Certainly not to upset City, I don't think. I did think they might possibly get a goal here, but then I looked at the recent stats for City. City's defence has been okay. 4 clean sheets in the last 6 now for City. So I ended up just going back right to where I'd normally be with City at home. It's either the handicap or the team total. The Chelsea game was a letdown on that front. But they'd won 8 home games in a row before that and scored at least 3 in 7 of those 8 games. So I've gone right back to the City team total. I think City will get a few. It plays into your pick as well. But I've gone for City team total over 2.5 at 11-10.
Okay, so not far away there. On the picks, Man City corners for Joe over 6.5. City with both teams to score for AJT is 8-5. FFF wants the easy City win as well. Barry, we are into the final 20 minutes or so pro rata of the game that has got the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere and the Eastern and the Western talking. Barry leads kick off by 2-1. I'm running out of time, Baz. This discard pile is dwindling. My cards are shit. The ball is just over halfway line in the centre circle, Baz, and it's your turn. You've contracted in price here, Baz. I reckon you're trading at about 1.3 now.
What square are we in?
A5.
A5 in the
red bit.
In the red bit, so it's just in my half.
Which half's yours? The half you're attacking my goal.
Am I going towards the red or the blue?
You're going towards you were going towards that way, weren't you? Oh, I think you might in A8. You go towards the blue, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going towards the blue, so it's in A8.
It's in A8, yeah. It's in the centre circle there.
Right. Right. I'm going to go... Oh, man.
Oh, he's counting. Look at this. Barry fancies he can put it to bed here.
Yeah.
Come on, Baz. Great content this, Baz.
2 to the left, forward 7.
The left, so back towards the centre circle.
No? Oh, yes. Yeah, towards the centre
spot. Like up towards the centre spot and then forward, sorry.
And then lumping it forward, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. So right outside my 6-yard box in the middle of the goal. That is of no use to me whatsoever, Barry. I'm going to play that aerial challenge 3 back to where it came from. 1, 2, 3, and then 6 forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's still in the blue half, and we're on B9, Barry. That is B9. Okay, you got it? Right, okay. I'm sure everyone enjoyed that as much as we did. Next game is 8:15 on Wednesday night. One of the 2 8:15 kickoffs, which is 3:15 Eastern time. Burnley taking on Manchester United. Burnley 15-4, plus 375. 3-1 the draw. Man City 7-10, minus 142. Baz, this is you.
Yeah, I mean, this was a horrible one because I'm inclined to think Man United might do okay here with Amorim gone and possibly someone a little bit less stubborn in charge. Maybe they'll pull out a result, and the fact Burnley are poor. But how do you get involved with Man United away from home at 7-10? So I think I got back to you just got to treat it as if Amorim was still there and Man United are still shite, because there's no way I'd want Man United at 7-10. They've just played out 3 games back-to-back under 2.5 goals, and 4 of the last 6 Burnley home games finished under 2.5 as well. Even Arsenal and Chelsea went to Burnley and won, but only 2-0, so the unders hit again there. So even when Burnley are losing, the unders can still be in play. So I didn't like this game at all. I've gone for another under 2.5 goals. I think that's the 3rd one so far. But under 2.5 here at 11-10.
I'll tell you can take Man United at 7-10. Bars, this guy right here. 2 draws over Christmas for Burnley, but back-to-back 2-goal defeats since. I've got no idea what effect sacking Amorim will have, but it can't make them any worse. Like, that's impossible. And they've still won the odd game against dog shit teams. And anyone with half a brain, this is kind of what I was talking to Dave Varane about, was just anyone could just set them up and just play Dorgu at wing back where he should be playing and the other wing back on the other side. And just go and play like normal footballers. And Manchester United should go and win this game. I could manage them to a win in this game. So the sensible thing to do, really, Barry, is to bet Manchester United, and then you can either take the win, not a terrible price, or you can just laugh your willy off if they don't win. So it was a bit of a no-lose, really. I'll take Man United. It's 7-10, minus 142. Matty Ice has joined us. I haven't seen Matty Ice for ages. Matty, welcome back. Point out that Wilfred Nancy lasted long at Celtic. What a shambles that was. Holy mackerel. Yeah, I don't know what to make. It's just funny. I don't really get the English people who have an old firm second team.
Nah, it doesn't bother me, that.
Never got on my radar. Harry, young kid who I worked with on Saturday night, is Newcastle season ticket holder, but Rangers as well. And I just never got it like so. There you go. But no, I enjoyed all of that. I just want Hearts to win it, like, just because why not? Everyone loves a good underdog story. Where are we going next? 8:15. Newcastle United taking on Leeds. Newcastle 13-20, minus 153. The draw 14-5, plus 280. And Leeds are 17-4, plus 425. There's a couple of key moments in the Newcastle Palace game because Newcastle largely looked the better team. Will Hughes missed that chance. The first goal was important. But ultimately, Newcastle deserved to win. But it's crucial that we back it up here. We've had so many false dawns this season. So we've got to Burnley and got the away win, which was important. We've then picked up this win. And we said before the last round of games, if we pick up 6 points off Palace and Leeds, if we picked up those 6 points by 10:15 on Wednesday night, we're just in all of a sudden a much, much better position. We can start looking forward again. But Leeds are going to be a tough out here. They've got no defeat in 7. They're chipping away. They're just giving themselves an excellent chance of staying up. They're keeping Forest and West Ham at arm's length. And they're playing well too. I've enjoyed watching them. A little bit like Sunderland. They've got a lot about them. They're going about it in an entirely different way than all those dog shit teams did last season. Those pathetic efforts from Southampton and Ipswich and whoever else it was. But still, away from Elland Road, 1 win and 3 draws, 6 defeats. And Newcastle look physically a lot stronger, like squad-wise. So we've seen Wissa come in, make a difference. So we've got options there. All the wingers are fit. Tino was back, came off the bench on Sunday. Trippier was back on the bench. So we've just got more bodies around the place. Newcastle to win and score 2 goals doing it. So Newcastle to win with a team total of over 1.5. It's 19-20, minus 105.
So close.
Close to the record. So stand by your bed, Fef.
Well, I've got a default play for Newcastle at the minute when we're at home, and it's hitting every week. So I'll keep playing it, or hitting most weeks. Did lose it in a couple. But, I mean, it's still not been brilliant from Newcastle, but back-to-back wins at a time where, as I said earlier, everybody else in the league is struggling to hit 1 win, never mind 2. So in a much better position. And as you say, big opportunity now with Leeds at home and then Wolves away the next 2 games. Things could be looking very different. You can't get away from the home form for Newcastle. No defeat in 11 games now. Scored 2 goals in all 11 of those games as well, which helps you. Leeds have had a really good few weeks to move them up the table. No defeat in 7 now, but they have only won 2 of the 7 as well. And their away form has only 1 win all season. Win against Wolves is the only away win Leeds have. They have pulled off 3 draws in a row recently. But I'm sticking with Newcastle here. It's a regular one for me, as I say. Newcastle to win. Tag on the over 1.5 goals. So we are very close. It's even money. And it's essentially the same pick. But
not getting a ray gun though, Baz.
Ray gun, no, can't be.
No, it's not happening.
If I win, we win.
ATG's gone for, and I like this, Bruno G to have one shot on target at 6-4. He's just been a lot more advanced recently. I tell you what, he should pick the team up by the scruff of the neck. If it's not going well, Bruno can go and affect the game more than I've seen a lot of people do in the 50 years I've been watching. Newcastle win with both teams to score for Joe. Newcastle to win with over 1.5 Leeds cards at 13 away. It's an interesting angle from Fef if he's cobbled one together. One more game, just. Bloody hell, we've nearly blown this, Barry. There's no record. Is there going to be a record? Arsenal take on Liverpool on Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Arsenal 4-6. Actually, Arsenal 3-5 now. Minus 150. 31-10 the draw. Plus 310. And Liverpool 4-1. Barry finishes off with a winner.
Yeah, I didn't like this just because the price for Arsenal made it a bit difficult. It really should be an Arsenal win, shouldn't it? Their home form is faultless. 9 wins and a draw from their 10 home games. And Liverpool continuing to look vulnerable every week. That said, they aren't losing many games. They're unbeaten in 9 in all competitions, which still seems a bit mad to me because they've been absolute garbage. They're 8 unbeaten in the league, but they haven't faced any of the top sides in that stretch, Liverpool. And the thing that would push me towards Arsenal, as well as the form, obviously, it's just the mentality at the moment. Arsenal have got that winning mentality. They've got the belief that they'll win games regardless of the situation. They feel like they'll come back and win it. Liverpool used to have that, but at the moment, they just look mentally weak. They look vulnerable, as I said before. So Arsenal should win it. The concern for me would be the record against top sides so far this season. They did deal with Villa the other week, but you look at the games where they have dropped points, and there aren't many of them, but they've dropped points this season against City, Liverpool, Villa, Chelsea. Most of them away from home. The 1-1 draw against City is the only one at home. But that form against the top end sides, it leaves a little bit of a question mark. So Arsenal are just a bit too short for me to take them. So I've gone for goals. 5 of the last 6 for Arsenal went over 2.5. They've saw 13 total goals in the last 3 games alone. So I'm going to take the overs. Over 2.5 goals at 8-11.
Barry, there will be no Ray Gun record this evening. Unbelievable after that start. Arsenal will feel, I think, psychologically that this is a massive hurdle. 5 wins in a row. Like you've just said, they are winning games. And they've won in lots of different circumstances. It hasn't really been straightforward. The Villa game, they got away from Villa in that one. But there was the late goals against Wolves. There was the OGs and the penalties. But they've won 9 and drawn 1 of their 10 home games. They are 14 points in front of Liverpool now. But you're right, I don't know how Liverpool aren't losing. Unbeaten in 8. But the pure form line, isn't it strong? Draws against Fulham, Leeds twice, Sunderland. They draw with Wolves as well, didn't they? That was a draw as well. They've only won 4 10 away games. They've lost all 3 away games against top 7 opposition. And they conceded 8 goals doing it, Liverpool. So you're right, they look vulnerable. They look completely vulnerable. Arsenal have stepped up in these big home games. What we talked about, statement wins. Villa was one. And the Bayern Munich game stood out as well. When they've needed to go and do it, they're right, oh, this is it, now we'll go and do it. My pick is Arsenal to win in over 1.5 match goals. It's 5-6, minus 120. Maybe 2-0, 3-1, something like that to Arsenal. But I think Arsenal can get them done. So Arsenal to win with over 1.5 match goals is 5-6, minus 120. Barry, we've landed right on 59 minutes, like we always do. Do you want to lead us off with your exotics?
Yeah, I'll jump in. My lock once again will be Villa. Villa at 13-10 is going to be the lock for me. The underdog, I didn't like many dogs this week, but I'll take Spurs at 12-5. I think they're alive and a decent price. My scorer this week's going to be Cunha for Man United. I think Man United should go okay against Burnley. So I'll take Cunha at 13-10 anytime. 9-2 first or last. Corned beef pie is over 2.5 goals in the Man City game, the Newcastle game, and the Arsenal games. That comes in around 100-30. And I've gone back to the underdogs for my stake and Stilton Aka. Spurs are a decent price as an underdog. Wolves are a decent price as an underdog. And then I'll tag in Villa, who aren't an underdog, but are a good price to boost that up a bit. Spurs, Wolves and Villa, all to win, 37-1.
Goal scorer?
I've already said, Cunha.
Oh, yeah, sorry. You did it out of sequence, but...
just to throw you off a little bit,
my lock is Manchester United, 7-10, minus 142. I put Fulham up as my dog, just because I love Fulham, you know me. 9-4, plus 225. My corned beef pie accumulator, Barry, has got many of the ingredients of your corned beef pie accumulator. Money line on Newcastle, Manchester City, and Manchester United. 29-10, plus 286. You get that one. So just one team different. If I stake in Stilton, again, we're on this very, very similar lines here. I've taken a team total treble this time. Over 1.5 goals for Fulham, over 1.5 goals for Wolves, and over 2.5 goals for Man City, which is a pick you put out yourself earlier on. And that pays 21-1. It's not the biggest. You've got to love my anytime goal scorer. People say I say mean things about Manchester United, particularly this man. Anytime goal scorer, Barry, Casemiro. He gets the most free headers of anyone I've ever seen, doesn't he? He makes first contact of every set piece they put in the box ever. I don't know if has anyone said, I'll tell you what, mark him. Like, he just gets a free header on everything. It really annoys me. So this week, I thought I got the other side of it. He's 18-1, first and last, 6-1 anytime. His big fat Casemiro. Dave, honestly, absolutely, I've said full of himself today. This week, Barry, the key points for Dave are travel plus rotation plus teams underperforming their XG by 10 to 15%. They're the teams he's fading. The answer is Bournemouth team total over 1.5, 5-6, minus 120, which I think was a play we kind of danced around ourselves later on. And because I'd talked at length today to Dave about very sensible things, I didn't ask him anything frivolous this week. He seemed too locked in, but I think I'm all out of things to say, Barry. Do you tell us what you had for tea? Have you got any crack or?
Nothing exciting for tea today. I had a bowl of ramen. It's quite just a simple one. But no, not a lot of crack, really. I am doing a bit of a challenge. I said no New Year's resolutions the other day, didn't I? But I have set myself a little challenge, a little goal for January to walk 10,000 steps every day. I looked at my fitness tracker data from last January. Guess what my average steps were per day last January?
This is going to be really funny, isn't it? It can't just be in the hundreds. I don't know. You see, I don't know how many steps people normally do. Mine would be in the hundreds, I reckon. 3,086.
Yeah, 2,140 was last January. I mean, bearing in mind, there's days where I go to work and I have to walk from the car to the off. I don't know how 2,140 is very low. By the end of the year, I did push that up. I was averaging about 8,500 by the end of the year. So I've set myself a goal for January to do 10,000 a day. So 5 days in, I've done it. But I've realised how 10,000 is a lot.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm already a little bit sick of it, to be honest. I went out for a walk tonight, 3:30.
How far? Before you went for your walk, how many steps had you done?
Like less than 1,000 because I'd not left the house. So I had to do something. I had to take some evasive action. Now, I'm fortunate. I've got a treadmill in the house, so I can wrap up the day. If I need to get some extra ones in the day to get me there, I can jump on the treadmill. But I'm trying to get out for a walk. So I went out for a walk. I walked I got to an hour and 5 minutes, and I'd walked 5K. And that was only about 7,000 steps. So I've worked out walking 10,000 steps is about 90 minutes of walking. Like, that's a lot, isn't it? Every day.
That bad.
So I'm already regretting my decisions. But anyway, 5 days in, I'm doing it so far.
Oh, well, good luck. I'm not doing anything. I cannot be arsed. Right. Thank you, Barry. Thursday, we'll come back. It's FA Cup of the weekend, so we'll make, which is good. I feel like we've handicapped about 1,000 Premier League games in the last fortnight. It's been incredibly busy. So the FA Cup, we might do some outrights, and then we'll take a selection of, actually, Dave Horan told us to back Wrexham against Everton, I think it must be. Wrexham with, Forest, sorry. Wrexham v Forest. Take the early price. So if you want to do that, get on Wrexham. But yeah, we'll do some FA Cup stuff at the weekend. Other than that, good luck with your Premier League picks over the next 3 nights. Cheers, Barry. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. It was tons of fun. Get over on YouTube daily and thumbs up and like and share the AFCON shenanigans. Hopefully, one of Congo or Burkina Faso can keep us in the tournament tomorrow afternoon. Until then, we will see you all down the road. Cheers.